Hello, friends. As some of you might do, I dance the Lord's Prayer every year. And it wasn't possible the last 3 years because we weren't able to get together because of you know what. So we did it in April. And during the explanation, for those of you who don't know, the Lord's Prayer is danced. It's at the inspiration of Neil Douglas Klotz, I believe. And it's the original language of Jesus. And it's the Lord's Prayer, Our Father. Or, oh, great Father, Mother, birther of the universe, of the cosmos. Now, this is my interpretation, not necessarily the exact interpretation. So every year we dance it, and this was probably my 17th year. And because we did get together on Zoom. And this year I heard something that I hadn't heard before, and it had to do with the bread and receiving the bread, not just for ourselves, but to bless and to share with everyone. So we receive this bread as nourishment for ourselves. And may that which nourishes us be shared and spread amongst all who need it, all who come to us with their own hungers. So coincidentally and delightfully, a friend gave me a magazine to read. And in this magazine, there are letters that the readers were writing in, and the topic was about bread. And I just thought, well, I will share. Every letter was better than the next and more inspirational. So this is a letter. I'm going to make a commitment to reading all of these letters, and this is where I'm going to start. I'm going to read one a day for the next period of time. As a kindergartner in the 1950s, I lived in a rundown parsonage on a block we shared with a potato chip factory and a cola bottling company. The trains that serviced the factories traveled on tracks that bordered our lot. My father was a mission pastor tasked with nurturing a fledgling church, and money was scarce. My mother stayed at home with my brother and me and made ends meet by sewing our clothes and baking from scratch. Her specialty was bread. We weren't the only people aware of the bread baking in our oven. Hobos who rode the trains had apparently marked our house. Not infrequently, they showed up at our back door. My mother set up a card table outside the kitchen, complete with a toaster and margarine. The often unkempt but always fascinating train riders would relax and eat fresh buttered toast. My mother told us stories about the Depression years when her father fed anyone who wandered through their farm and sometimes offered the visitor work. The practice of giving a hand up went to the turn of the century when my grandfather's family, German immigrants to the US, had been shown similar consideration by others. Years later, I was teaching Latin and discussing the Roman ideal of hospitium, 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 hospitality as a divine right. When I shared my memories with students, they were skeptical to the point of accusing me of lying. No one would allow a stranger into their home. No one would allow a stranger into her home, they declared, nor would farmers welcome trespassers on their land. In this era of suspicion and self-protection, of doorbell cameras and alarm systems, we have sadly lost the concept of hospitality and the possibility of, as the Bible says, entertaining angels unawares. And this was a letter sent in by K.A., only the initials, in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So I just want to say thank you to the writer of this letter, and look for more letters about bread and stories about bread that are fun in the next period of time. I love you all.